My name's Steve Mays and I'm a Lego artist. So I got into Lego originally when I was a kid, as a lot of people did, which was back in the 80s. But I grew out of it, as I guess most kids do, probably 15, 16, not sure now. Never really thought it would be something I'd go back to. Every 5 years or so, something like that, I'd get a hankering to play with it and it'd come out and I'd build some massive spaceship or something crazy like that. I could thank my wife for how it became a bit more of a serious thing for me, because I had this hankering to play with Lego again, and Liz just kind of rolled her eyes and said, why don't you build something sensible like our house? And at the time I was an architectural photographer, so that was quite appealing. It was another way of representing the built environment, I guess. Seeing it kind of as a serious or semi-serious tool that you could use Lego to model something to have a genuine use, not just a bit of fun. When I did the St James's Park model for Newcastle United Foundation, it was primarily Lego that I was doing rather than photography. And there's a couple of other projects that year, like a really interesting project of Team Valley Trading Estate, which was a little microscale project with little tiny, hundreds of buildings on it, but all represented by a very small number of bricks. A lot of what I do now is models for visitor attractions, galleries, museums, that kind of place, where they want the model to draw people in the first place, or if they don't know about it, when they see it in the building, they want them to be amazed by it. For anything you build, there are some core aspects of it that define that structure or that building. So something like the Angel of the North, which was one I did a few years ago, you could look at that and say, okay, the colour of it is important, the curviness of it is important, it's got these grid-like pattern to the wings, that's important. If you did it without those things, then it probably wouldn't look quite right. One of the biggest I've done is the Bose Museum, which was nearly 2 metres long, and I realised about a few weeks into that build that I was 2 studs, so that width, short basically, to get some detail in that I wanted to, which meant adjusting the whole floor plan of it. But I knew that would have knock-on effect, those extra studs, for the whole build. But I could have left it quite easily. But those details do matter to me. As well as doing the one-off big models, there'll be clients that want to have a model produced that people can make. For Newcastle United Foundation, after I'd done the big model of the ground, they wanted a little version done which they could take to the RVI hospital in Newcastle and have kids on the cancer ward sit and make it and keep it. So that's a little dinky model about this big. You can get the instructions for it, but you can't buy the set from anybody. So you can get the instructions for free and then you have to source the bits yourself, which can be quite good fun, because if you've got a decent set of Lego at home, you can probably have a good stab at it, but you probably won't have all the pieces, so you'll end up making something that's more personal to you, I guess, with different colours in it, or you tweak it a little bit. Going back to the point about it having quite a serious use, if you were an architect and you wanted to show what a new development might look like in a town and you built a model out of Lego, I think you'll get more people interested in it because they can fundamentally understand how that model is put together because they understand Lego. And I think that makes it a bit more relatable. Obviously Lego is incredibly popular. It's probably fair to say it's never been as popular as it is now. There's a nostalgic factor to Lego. There's not many things you could go back to from your childhood in the 80s or 90s, or even earlier, 60s or 70s, and it's still be here. And obviously it's changed a lot, but the fundamental Lego block, something like this, still exists and is still being made and will still fit with stuff back in the 60s. If you're a venue looking to bring people in and you want something that's going to appeal to a lot of different ages and families, then Lego is a real winner.